Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Modern Woman Profession. Today we got a video by Olivia Alexa. Please go check your channel and then you can tell me what you think about it. And we're gonna talk about why women hate accountability, how to hold women accountable. Any guy can do it. Let's see what she said.
I'm about to dive into a topic that most people skirt around because they don't want to ruffle feathers. But I'm not most people. You've seen it, I've seen it, we've all seen it. The dreaded lack of accountability in women. In today's society, we're force fed this narrative of female empowerment. And I get it to a certain extent, but we are seriously missing the mark when that empowerment is mistaken for entitlement and accountability is thrown out the window. We're caught up in a world that shields women from accountability, a world that allows, encourages, and even incentivizes them to escape from the consequences of their actions.
It's not about escaping. It's about back in the day, women hold other women accountable. It was never a man's space to structure women to make the woman accountable. It's the job of the woman to hold other women accountable. As the man, the job of the man to hold other men accountable. But now, because of this new generation doesn't want to talk to women, doesn't want to hold them accountable because they build a sisterhood. That's the differences between those generation back generation. It's not about entitlement, it's not about empowerment. It's because the woman supposed to do their job to hold all the younger women to be certain image, to protect the aspect, to put the legacy into the lifestyle, the image from society. But now there's a new generation that doesn't do that, and now you see women is allergic to accountability. It's not they're not allergic to accountability because the elderly didn't do their job to hold them accountable. Now nobody can at this point. That's why you see the empowerment. It's an empowerment is a slack of
See,
the
women
older woman.
always like to talk about double standards when it suits them. However, they fail to realize the double standards that are out here that work in their favor. This goes back to childhood. A little girl is raised to be able to get away with more things than a boy. A little girl can lie, get caught in that lie, and be let off the hook way easier than a boy simply because she's a girl. Her punishments will typically be way more lenient than a boy. Boys are raised almost from the start to take accountability and that is key. This disparity subconsciously teaches little girls a sense of entitlement. This teaches her that she can get away with anything simply because of her gender. They learn to avoid responsibility, thinking that they're like exempt from consequences just because they're females. It's a toxic cycle.
It's not because they are female. It's because like back in the day, as a female, your mother or the woman from the village has to treat you or to discipline you. That's what happened. Once the old woman doesn't do their job, the young woman now feels confused because now men doesn't know women think, the men doesn't know how to women behave. Now instead of going to the space of a woman to discipline a woman, now they cannot do that because they feel like out of order for a woman, for a man to do. That's why women always say you're not a woman, you can understand them. Because what happens is women should hold other women accountable. That's what from the motherhood. That's why when you were young, your mother breastfeed you from eating and then all that. At the same time, when your mother teach you how to respond, how to behave, how to dress, and how to respond and how to cook, how to clean. Your mother or your mother figure is supposed to teach you that. But now those older women, they don't spend their time to their daughter or their granddaughter teaching the way. All they have to do right now is go out there partying and then starting up and then go to party, go to club. They don't pass those principles and the fundamental to those kids. Now those kids become uneducated, they become loyal, and then now they can do whatever they want because those women, the elder women, they didn't give the structure so they can follow on and live on automatically.
That's carried into adulthood. The result is a world where too many women think that they can avoid taking responsibility in relationships, jobs, and life in general, all while blaming someone else. This is what's at the cornerstone of female liberation, Me Too, feminism, etc. Always somebody else's mistake, someone else's fault, never their own. And this narrative is so pervasive that it has successfully infected society to its core. Society has given women an abundance of choices, and the downside is the more choices you tend to have, the less accountability you feel like you have to take because you can always hide behind another choice. This is why I say the vast majority of women are narcissistic in nature. And I've gotten a lot of hate from that. For anyone who doesn't believe me, let me throw some facts your way to prove my point. Number one, female narcissists tend to hate when they're not the center of attention, and they go to excessive lengths to make sure that the spotlight is focused on them.
It's not about attention for number one. It's about that the lack of understanding of the intention. Back in the day, women always have attention, but they was doing it in the closed door with their husband, either with a friend, with a group of the girlfriend. Now, women want it outside of that closed section. They want it from the global. They want it outside. Everyone to love them. But back in the day, there was a time and a place. Since again, the elder woman is a discipline, and they give them the proper structure, the proper education to the proper place and time. Now they feel like they're entitled to it. But again, is woman didn't discipline other women. That's why it overflowed. That's why is now is going crazy. Other hand.
Doesn't this sum up damn near 80% of females on social media and in society? Number two, female narcissists tend to pursue men who are already in committed relationships, and they then aim to sabotage those relationships. How many women out here not only sleep with married men, but prefer married men or men in relationships? Number three,
Because before she go to number three, it's not because they want older, I mean married man. It's back in the day, women always want a man that is married. The reason why, because he has experienced older or another woman, and every woman doesn't want the first woman to be expensive to the guy. They want a man that's already know what they're doing and is already have a relationship with the woman. That's why they go and pick after the married man. Even if you have a girlfriend, if you have a girlfriend, she's gonna go after you because you have experience with women, and they are excited for that, and then that's why they're after the married man, because they think that woman he's having is a cash. Now she want to be the next cash to pick up the man that she feel valuable that the other woman have. That's why they are attracted to married men. Is very common. That's what.
female narcissists tend to self victimize. How many men are locked up right now because a woman provoked him, and then when he actually finally reacted, she played the victim? These men are locked away, their futures and records ruined because a woman refused to accept her part in a situation. Instead of admitting that Instead of admitting that she provoked him, she cries victim. Instead of owning her consent, she regrets it and then later screams, that's not justice, that's manipulation. That's a severe lack of accountability. The truth is that men are being sacrificed, their lives completely ruined, all on the altar of female innocence. Now let's flip the script. How many women do you think are locked away right now because a man lied to dodge accountability? I bet my bottom dollar you can't find very many because women know that the legal system tends to lean in their favor. They're very much aware that they're more likely to be believed, and a lot of them exploit this. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that every single woman lacks accountability. I know plenty of women that do their fair share of owning up to their actions, but the ones who don't, they're the ones that we're addressing. Accountability is the foundation of any relationship, whether it be romantic, platonic, professional, it doesn't matter. But a lot of women have traded accountability for victimhood. It's usually never her fault. It's always the guy who's wrong, society, her boss, or anyone else but herself. Women have to start taking accountability for their actions, mistakes, and choices. See,
So before she go any further, she got a good point. Women has to be accountable, but the thing is, accountability. You mean, children never think about accountability until adults prove them, explain to them what they do wrong. Again, the elderly, there was no elderly that sit down with the female to explain to them what they go wrong, and so on and so forth. Because the elder people go on the street, tidying up, go to a for behavior. Now everything is chaotic. That's why it's hard. That's why I say now when they grow older they want a man that's very well structured, but they are very disrespectful because they never had a structure how to behave. And the victim is a child behavior. And then since she grew up on that stage, she as a child, she never grew to a mature state. That's why they said woman is a grown body with a child mentality, because they never had a consequence when they're all younger, because the parents or the woman that's supposed to punish them or to again them make sure that what they do is wrong, that woman never forced that on them. They never pressured that. So that's why they think they can get away with anything. Because back in the day, men realized that women is able to or the victim of society, because what happened, they killed the man, and then they use the woman to procreate, and they use them as a slave, as a trophy slave, so they can do the hard work and so on and so forth. That's why they become the bastards, and so on and so forth. But now there's a new generation that doesn't think like that. So there's no war, they think they get away with it. That's why men was protecting women from that happening. That's why they never held them accountable, because they cannot have any form of defense to protect themselves, either by to fight, either through a lot of stuff. But now generation is different, because now they realize there's no fight, and they keep the same mentality. That's why they say they're equal to men. But when the war going on, they're gonna flip that switch and anything needs, so they're gonna protect themselves. That's what happened.
It's easier to play the victim than to own up to your own mistakes. It's easier to point the finger and blame the world than to look in the mirror and say, hey, I effed up. I can do better. That's real empowerment. But to be real, all of this is just a symptom of a society that's too quick to play the sexist card whenever a woman's actions are questioned. It's a byproduct of a culture that has bred a lack of personal responsibility. Society is a huge co conspirator in all of this. Don't get me wrong. It's created a safety net that shields women from accountability. Any man who even slightly questions a woman's actions is quickly labeled as misogynistic. So, what does this do? It perpetuates a cycle of unaccountability. It's a systematic issue, it's an epidemic. To all the men listening, demand accountability from these women. How do you do it? So when she does something that's out of line or out of pocket and does not take accountability for it, check it then. Don't wait. Because the longer that you wait, the less accountability she will feel like that she needs to take. By you addressing it at the start, it lets her know that with you, accountability is not up for negotiation. See, the problem is that accountability is no longer a requirement for relationships. And when something is not a requirement, people will treat it like it's an option. To the women out there who like to duck and dodge accountability like the plague, it's time to step up, look at yourself in the mirror, and admit when you're wrong. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. But the difference between growth and stagnation lies in your ability to take accountability. So, with that being said, until the next video, I'll see you.
So basically, she just been saying that men has to be hold a woman accountable for a relationship. But at the end of the day, who raised woman? Other woman raise woman. So basically, if the man never raised woman, how it be now when she growing up? Now the man can hold her accountable. That's not gonna happen, because women always say you're not a woman, you don't understand what's going on. Again, don't take a lesson from a woman that's don't ask a fish how to catch a fish, because she gonna destroy the whole perspective how to catch a fish. So that's why she telling you and purpose to say they like, instead of a woman hold a older woman accountable, just make the man hold that woman accountable before relationship. So the man has to hold himself accountable, hold the society accountable, hold the kids accountable. Now on top of that, he has to hold a woman accountable. So when the man gonna take a break, and one whom the man gonna be able to relax himself, one the man gonna be able to enjoy his life? Never, because men has to double doing the job, which is very crazy, because at the end of the day, we all know that's a woman job to hold other women accountable. And they say like they're doing something new, but then it's not something new, because women hate doing that job. They hate doing women accountable. They want to live free lifestyle. They want to do whatever they want. And then when shit go down, they blame the men to come and which can again another example. That's why men avoid to date in a relationship, because women believe that is a men's job to hold other women accountable, which is will never happen. If you don't have the thumbs up, just comment soon.